Could you do me a solid and link the stream for me in the chat? Oh, now OBS has like a red dot on the icon on the taskbar when you stream or record, I guess. Either or. What? Did you just post a fucking screenshot? Thank you, Landon.
I'll actually link it.
Okay. Well, Al's here, so
it worked.
It worked. All right. Hi Al. How's your week been? Because it's been a week since we last streamed.
Well, this.
Well, it's been a week since we last streamed this. So, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it.
I've done 2 streams.
Yeah, you have. I was busy for both of them. Because you streamed what, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And then yesterday. I worked yesterday. I would have joined, but yesterday was a makeup day for my half day last week and half day this week. Okay, so where the fuck are we? It's been a minute. We're in the middle of working on the safe route.
Right. So... Okay, yeah, so we're just finishing up, we just finished this escape room, and so now we're basically just finishing through this novel section, and once we get to this novel section, then, we can...
Then we have to go down to the next novel section.
True.
And that's where we decide the split, which is going down whatever that door is.
Yep. We also need to figure out, we also need to unlock this key as well.
Well, we'll do that when we...
Yeah.
Go down that novel or go through that door.
Right. Okay. Just gonna check. Okay, it's just L. Let's just check in Discord real quick. Okay.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
Junpei, Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them. Also, I'm not sick anymore. Yay! So I don't have to...
Yeah, finally.
Oh, yeah.
But Clover got it.
Yeah, rip Clover. All 3 collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clean air, and with each one, he could feel his body begin to calm down.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked.
Damn, none of these open. They're all locked. How about that one?
It's also locked.
The final door sat in a corner of the hallway.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when... a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to...
Hey, it's me, Goku!
It's June.
Huh?
Oh.
What if Goku was in the Notary game? He would just instant transmission to where the 9 door is.
Yeah. Well, no, he can't do that. Because he has to be able to... when he instant transmissions, he has to have like a key signature to grab onto.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But he could instant transmission out of the ship.
That's true.
And
he could just unlock it from the outside.
Yeah. He could also just destroy the fucking ship.
That's true. He could just, like, punch through the doors.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't give a fuck. There, at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running toward him. 3 of them.
June?
Hi, June.
Santa! 7!
They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, grasping for air. Oh, this is where they find Snake's body.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
We walked here.
But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Hey, on the wall.
It's a map.
A map of the ship's interior?
It says sea deck. So it's
Says
the map for
cock
this
deck.
floor then?
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
In fact,
Yeah, isn't that what I said? We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the nonary game works.
Thank you
Junpei
for the
looked-
reminder.
yep. Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. This leads to...
As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness.
Oh,
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen.
we may as well go. Yeah.
As one, they all moved back toward the door that Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open.
Almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and then followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
It's just the hospital room. They nodded their silent assent. Assent? With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back.
In the hospital room.
In the hospital room.
Yay.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying.
So are we at, yeah, we're here again, so we can just skip to, well, do we want to worry about these keys now, or do we just want to wait until we go for the true ending to do that?
Those are because we're not on that branch.
Oh, alright then.
They can't be turned on if we're...
So, skip to here?
Yeah.
Okay. Engine room. Handle?
Just the engine room.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's just
Secret way
the
out.
cutscene.
Yeah, that's true. First time Jeff from viewer Carly cries. No, I mean, I'm not playing this. Fuck. This is not my first playthrough, but Landon. This is his first time seeing it, so. So remind me, it has been a fucking long time since I played this game, though. What the fuck are we doing here to unlock this key?
We go through all of the... So we have to...
Just do it as we would.
We'll just do it. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I guess we can just skip all the dialogue since we've seen all this already.
Jack has also not played this game for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So there's also that.
In probably 12 years.
Yeah.
Or whenever the fuck this game came out in America. 2010?
What traitor?
What was that?
I said what traitor?
It's Trader. Alright, I'm trying to remember the quickest way to go through this room.
Damn, this game came out almost a year later in North America than it did Japan.
It's true. I don't want a backseat game, but just to clarify, you don't have to redo the escape room part. Oh, okay.
Well,
Fuck, can we just skip this then?
just go jump down to the second
Yes.
to last novel.
To this one?
Sure.
If you
If
select, the things,
select
you can
square,
like select the key itself. So
so do the handles.
okay. See, that's
So
what
it is the
that's
thing.
what I thought, but I wasn't.
Don't listen to me. Why are you fucking listening to me?
Cause you're the one.
I don't know literally anything that's going on right now.
All right. Handle. See, that's what I thought, but
I believe the box has reached the floor.
Listen to chat. Chat is always right.
Yeah.
When has chat ever been wrong about anything?
ever when Al
During anyone's streams, ever.
Speaking of experiments,
when Al hypes up Trader. Oh wait, is this is new? Okay.
there was this experiment some scientists did with rats.
Rats.
Rat-tat-tat.
First, they took a squarish C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown in it. The tank has 2 exits. Just to make it easy, we'll call one A and the other B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see anything.
Thank you for saving us time. Carly cries.
But exit B is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it.
Who fucking texted me?
It wasn't me.
What would a rat
It's my
do
mom.
if it was put in this? Which exit would the rat choose?
Is she telling you should have chose handles and not listened to me the first time around? There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question, and then Ace responded.
I was taking a drink.
B, of course.
B.
The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified.
Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified. Which means the rat can't get out that way. So, after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A.
I can't say that's very interesting or relevant. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment.
Damn,
Right?
Ace.
It isn't very interesting. Yet.
Ooh.
See, these scientists repeated this experiment over and over, using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results. With each generation, the rats took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put in the tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But that wasn't the most impressive part. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory, far from the original one, with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in this second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial one. These rats weren't related to the others and had never even come in contact with them. And yet, they all easily found their way to exit A as though they already knew. What did it mean?
What did he mean by this?
Are you suggesting something like telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium?
Ace looked skeptical. Santa snorted at him.
How the hell would I know?
I don't know, you're the one telling the fucking story.
I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that.
Then why are you
But I
telling
do
the
know
story?
That story's true. And if you've got another explanation, I'd sure love to hear it. Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot here we haven't checked out.
Psychic rats.
And we gotta get the hell out of here before June passes out.
Also true. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't ready to leave the topic alone.
Hey, wait. There's something I want to ask you.
Wasn't quite ready.
What?
What? Santa stopped and turned around.
Why did they use that tank for the experiment?
Huh?
Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown?
Santa gave a grim bark of a laugh.
You know, the word emergency comes from the same root as the word emerge. You ever think about that?
Huh?
Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous. And to emerge means to sort of come out, or appear, or rise out of something else. So what's going to emerge in an emergency? Inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yeah. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind focuses and pulls up what you need.
So in an emergency, your real potential emerges. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in danger. There had to be an emergency for inspiration to emerge.
Oh.
It's kind of fucked up. Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Alright then. Cool. So, oh boy, which one do we need? No, let's just try both
Now
of
we
them.
finally have all 9 picture cards.
Skip. Just then, Junpei heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence.
Hey! June, are you okay?
She did not respond. Junpei spun back around to face Ace.
I'm sorry, I gotta go check on her. You finished the box thing, alright? Just put the cards in the boxes. I'm counting on you.
He shoved the cards into Ace's hands and ran off toward June.
Are you alright? What happened?
Junpei called out to her as he ran.
Can you stand?
As he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Santa's help.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I just tripped.
Don't give me that. Now is not the time.
But it's true. I tripped over a box.
Just let me see for a sec.
It's like her leg is like completely broken in half.
Huh.
You're still warm.
Her temperature was much the same as it had been the last time he'd checked. She wasn't hot like she'd been before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone.
I saw her fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know?
Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up.
Still, to fall down like that? I think she's probably still a little messed up.
June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face was a bit flushed. But she did look a great deal better than she had. Still.
Alright, well, let's just get out of here as fast as we can so we can get you to a hospital.
Oh, I don't think it's anything that serious.
Are you sure about that?
I just need a little medicine and some sleep, and I'll be fine.
Medicine. Medicine, huh?
I took medicine once.
Well, if we could get in touch with anyone outside, I'll bet Ace could swing that for you easy.
Ace? Why?
Huh? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical company.
Oh.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals is the name, I think.
Oh.
Their flagship product is an anesthetic drug called Soparil.
Soparil. Soparil.
Are you still with me, Landon?
I've heard of that before somewhere.
Call.
Oh, I see. Junpei couldn't shake the feeling that he'd heard about Soparil before. Santa continued.
Soparil. It's an anesthetic that's a gas at room temperature, a lot like how nitrous oxide is. It takes only a few seconds to spread, and even a small amount is very effective. A bunch of countries quickly accepted it for widespread use within their police and military forces. It was an effective crowd suppressant and room clearer. It was practical, ethical, and the humane nature of it made it the ideal drug. It's been around for about 6 years. They developed it from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demand for Soparil skyrocketed. And of course, that meant Cradle Pharmaceuticals' stock did too.
Why do you know all of this?
Santa's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. Santa's reply was blunt and simple.
I heard it from the old man himself.
From Ace? When?
By the number 4 door at the central stairway, when we were searching the second-class room.
Okay.
Remember how Snake, Seven, and you went to door 5?
Lennon's back.
It was back then. I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know?
Huh.
Are you worried about something?
No, nothing.
As he spoke, Junpei looked over towards Ace. Ace, are you okay? They're numbers. He seemed to be having a difficulty with the 9 boxes.
What the hell is he doing?
Ace, please. He turned back to June and Santa.
June, don't push yourself, alright?
Yes.
Santa, could you take care of her? I'll go check on Ace. Looks like he's having trouble.
Sure.
Having trouble counting. He gave them both a
2, 3, 4.
Fuck, what
And he
comes
kind
after
of breaks
4?
down after that.
He gave them both a short nod and then turned and headed towards Ace.
What are you doing?
Ace. Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat.
What happened?
Nothing. My vision has gotten rather blurry, I think, because of fatigue. I can't see very well at the moment.
What can't you see well?
These pictures...
Anything.
Ace held the cards out to Junpei, splayed out in the shape of a fan.
I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia. Growing old is a difficult thing.
Shit, that's fucked up, dude.
He made the best attempt he could as self-deprecating at a self-deprecating smile, but his face was flushed and his lips were pale and drawn.
At any rate, I'll leave the rest to you.
Aw.
I'm feeling awfully tired, so if you don't mind, I'd like to rest for a bit.
He shoved the cards into Junpei's hands and walked quickly away. Junpei looked at him quizzically.
How could simply looking at cards have tired him out?
Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All of the pictures were quite clear and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace's vision truly so bad?
But if it wasn't, what had made him so uncomfortable?
That was
the 9-man.
That was when Junpei remembered what he'd remembered from Lotus much earlier.
Prosopagnosia.
Yeah, that one.
Well,
That one.
put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other.
I'm not going to complain about the game using this CG
That
art,
means
or
that
not
people with
CG art, but like,
prosopagnosia
you know,
have trouble recognizing
this
even
artwork
people they're
again.
close to.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it at that. And there it goes.
Maybe he's got prosopagnosia?
Junpei took another look at Ace. He sat at the base of the stairs, looking quite depressed.
Well, he looks depressed enough to have it.
If he really did have...
Wow.
That's kind of rude. If he really
Yeah.
did have prosopagnosia, there was no doubt it was a depressing and painful experience. Still, Junpei didn't feel like patting him on the shoulder and telling him everything would be alright. It would help that much. Still, Junpei felt perhaps it was best to keep Ace's condition to himself, at least for the time being.
Oh well.
Doing his best to clear his mind for the task at hand, he turned back toward the boxes.
Time to solve the 9 boxes puzzle.
9 cards with pictures, and 9 boxes. Junpei stared at them for a moment, and then began.
Ace's
9
card is in
seconds.
box 1, Snake's is in number 2. I just need to do the same for the rest. And finally, the 9th man's card into box 9.
Yay. All 9 box lids
man.
popped open at once.
Yeah! Oh, they opened!
He peered inside.
What the?
In each box was a single pin.
9 pins?
We've seen this. Cool. Alright, so we did that. Now...
Now...
I hate to do this so early in the stream, but I pre-gamed, and I have to pee.
Why?
I'm sorry. I wanted a drink.
Sure.
So, we'll be right back.
Trader, you jumped off me. Go.
Don't yell at me. Shut up, Al. Alright. So, back to it. Let's see here. So we can just fucking... Since we're doing the safe ending, we can just fucking go here.
Leave no one behind. But what if we left everyone behind anyway?
That'd be rude. They took the elevator up to C deck. Once there, they had headed back toward the main hall and the central staircase. Let me just... What was the... Oh, that's the knife ending. That's right. Okay. It didn't take them long.
Look, it's... Seven and Lotus.
They didn't look happy.
We've got a problem.
What was that?
Clover is gone.
Oh, yeah. That happened.
What?
Clover's gone. Or did you not hear them the first time?
Yeah. Junpei and his three companions looked at one another. He turned back to Seven and Lotus.
What do you mean, gone?
Santa, Ace, and... Santa, Ace, and June had their own questions to ask.
When?
Why?
How?
You two went into door 1 with Clover, didn't you?
Seven and Lotus responded as best they could.
Yeah, we went through the door together.
But Clover barely spoke to us.
She just did her own thing the whole time.
There were 4 rooms on the other side of door 1.
She wouldn't let us into the 4th room.
She just said, I'll take care of this one.
And shut the door.
She must have blocked it with something on the other side.
We waited for a while, but Clover didn't come out.
We called for her, but she didn't answer.
So I kicked down the door and we went into the room.
But
It was empty.
Clover wasn't there.
There was a door on the other wall.
And it was open.
We figure she opened the door and left by herself.
We ran after her, of course, but
Well, obviously we didn't find her. You figured that much out.
Clover's gone.
Fuck. Junpei thought for a moment.
When did this happen?
We got here just before you.
You certainly have excellent timing.
So you haven't searched anywhere other than near the staircase?
No, we haven't.
Finally, Ace spoke. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover.
I love the way the words look like his eyes.
We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners.
She's not here.
No, she isn't.
Alright, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room.
Oh.
Shower room?
That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him.
Brother in quotes.
June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, that there wasn't only one thing to see in the shower room. Or there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant.
We might as well check, right? Let's go.
There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame. Thanks,
Good.
7.
We can still get in.
We should thank Seven later.
I just did.
We just did.
Junpei and June slipped through the door, moved down the hallway, and stepped into the shower room.
No luck.
Yeah, I don't think she's here.
June's voice was faint, and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green.
The smell is horrible.
The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since their last visit. If Junpei had eaten lunch, he would have had no, yeah, I had it right the first time. He would have had difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider.
Let's check the back, just to be sure.
June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head.
No, she's not here.
As he'd expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was a dead body laying in a reddish-brown puddle of dry and drying blood.
Snake. Just where did your sister go?
It's not him.
It's not him.
Junpei whispered to what once was Snake. Gross. He'd asked rhetorically, of course, as there was no way he'd get an answer. He gave a deep sigh.
Such a horrible way to go. The skull shattered, the left arm's hideously twisted. Huh? Wait.
The bright white of the ulna was clearly visible through the remains of skin and muscle. Bright white. Ulna.
Bones.
Psychomantis.
Bones.
The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory.
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm.
Thank you for the flashback that we didn't need.
Of course. Of course.
We didn't
Why
even
didn't
need
I
the original
realize it
cutscene.
earlier?
Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm, or at least it had been, once. That meant the corpse...
Jumpy?
June's unsure voice at Junpei's suddenly strange behavior drew his attention back to her.
Oh, sorry for making you wait. Let's go.
And they're off. Junpei and June headed back toward the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They reached the stairs when 7 appeared, breathless and yelling.
Junpei! June! Where were you guys?
Looking at some dead body. He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terrible had happened.
Cannibal Corpse.
What about Cannibal Corpse?
We were looking at it.
We were. I actually have a...
Anyway.
Junpei's breath caught in his throat.
Did something happen?
I actually have a Cannibal Corpse album right next to me.
Weird.
7 drew a shaking hand across his face and gulped down a breath of air.
Clover is...
Dead.
Clover is dead.
No.
I found her in the first-class bathroom.
I was just saying words.
Yeah. Damn, Rip Clover. She kill herself in the bathtub. All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was an empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. Not quite, but close. June's mouth moved, but he heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place.
Clover. Clover. Why? Why did this happen?
He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse. No breath. But she was still warm and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, were it not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her.
Whatever.
He traced its source to her back. A gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover smile.
Clover.
Her innocent smile. Her energy. Her axe murderous rampage. He would never see her smile again.
Her demands.
No way.
Touch me. He could have done something. He could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot.
Let's get out of here, June.
Junpei lifted a limp June from the floor and carried her from the bathroom.
Are you all right?
It was a foolish question, and he knew it.
Yes. I think so.
Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars she'd received were not likely to recede as quickly. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder, and they walked back to the bedroom.
You should get some rest. Here, the bed. Can you sit?
Yes.
I mean, I know, like, rest is important at all, but, like, how much time do we have left before 6 a.m.?
Plenty. Let's fuck.
Okay. She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Santa, and Seven. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there.
Who was the first to find the body?
Me.
Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up.
Why did you come to this room?
To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey, guys! I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom in the first-class cabin. Come quick! Or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Santa, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something because you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right?
Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask.
Seven, there's one more thing I'm worried about.
What?
You stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that?
Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so that the door wouldn't lock. So we could come back to this room? Oh. You think I did it?
Well, I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it?
For crying out loud.
Seven sighed and shook his head.
Follow me.
There were 2 doors standing next to one another. He opened the one on the right. It's the safe.
Closet?
It's the safe.
Seven steps inside. He stood in front of the one of the shelves that filled it and gestured toward a small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei.
This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put the plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now?
I get it. You don't have to tell me.
Junpei nodded and looked at the safe.
It is a safe.
Yep. He grabbed the handle and shook it.
Yep, safe all right.
Figured it wouldn't open.
It was as locked as it had been when Seven found it.
Huh?
There was one change, however.
This is...
Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine reddish-brown powder.
rust.
Junpei stared at it, considering.
If there's rust here, that means... Has someone opened the safe?
Junpei left the closet. Seven followed him back to the bedroom.
Ugh.
It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat, frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive, and the thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned and headed for the living room. Anything to get out of there.
Maybe there's another clue. Anything
No,
that might
we
lead
already
us to
searched.
discover who stabbed Clover.
Stabbed. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds in all the corners. His eyes caught on the door.
Ow, that must hurt.
Yeah. The door that led to the passageway of door number 5.
Behind this door. The ninth man's body is behind there. Maybe I should have another look at it, just in case.
Quietly, he pushed open the door.
Ugh.
The smell hit him like a blow to the face.
Oh, the hell? This smell is...
His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale such fetid? Fatigued?
Fachade?
Fetid. Whatever. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach, churning what little food was there into a violent froth. Throw up, it'll be funny. It was too much for him, and he vomited. Yeah!
Yeah! What a loser.
A thin stream of yellow water and bile splattered onto the floor. A sound effect. Gross.
Definitely didn't need to hear that.
Yay, vomit.
So.
He wiped his mouth weakly and stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh lay in an arc around the body. What remained of its intestines had slid out onto the floor. The pool of blood that framed it was half dry, but so thick that it had taken on a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk prepared sunny side up. On the floor, next to the broken mess of the man's head, lay his glasses, cracks spidering across the lenses. This game loves to compare gore to food. Narrator was hungry. I love it.
Very hungry.
The bloodstains near them had already dried, like scabs on the floor.
Wait,
That was when he noticed.
it's gone. His bracelet. It's gone. It was right next to the glasses.
The gore descriptions in this game are top. But now,
Are they top text or bottom text?
it was gone. The number 9 bracelet was gone.
But why?
Had someone taken it? He was turning it over and over in his mind when he heard Seven's voice.
Huh? Where'd Junpei go?
It had drifted out of him from the living room. It had drifted out to him, Jesus Christ. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway.
Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway?
Seven looked up as Junpei entered the room.
Yeah.
Did you find something?
No.
The opposite of that, actually. He thought for a moment before he responded.
No, nothing.
Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything. In a way, in fact, that was the problem. Something he'd expected to find hadn't been there, the ninth man's bracelet.
What's up?
Well, I wanted you to take a look at something.
Clover's
What is it?
bracelet.
Seven led Junpei back to the bathroom.
Clover.
Yep.
No bracelet.
Still dead. Oh yeah, it's not
But
there.
she has no bracelet.
As Clover's corpse came into view, he felt his heart flip and then fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips.
What was it you wanted to show me?
His voice was hollow and empty.
I searched Clover's body again. A real shame. She was stabbed once in the back, probably by a knife or something. And I found this.
As he spoke, he moved around Clover's head, then knelt down and flipped open her right hand.
What?
She was passing notes in class, so the teacher got mad at her and stabbed her.
Fuck. She was holding a piece of paper.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
What?
He wasn't sure what that meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important.
I'm opening it.
He picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it.
Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
What is this? Some kind of secret code?
Seven peered over Junpei's shoulders at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note.
A code.
The first clue was likely the phrase, sinister hand. Sinister hand means... I'm gonna save just in case this matters. I don't know if it does, but it was her right hand, wasn't it?
No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
In heraldry, the term sinister was used to refer to the left side of a coat of arms.
Oh, okay.
Or
Oh, thank you.
accurately, it
Thanks,
referred to
Junpei,
things on the left side
for
of a
picking
And
it
what
up.
was the fucking
coat of
point?
arms.
Yeah, what was
Yeah.
the fucking point?
I don't know, man.
The left hand. The left hand. What does the left hand mean?
It's the sinister hand. What the fuck do you mean?
Junpei looked at his own left arm,
That's where the bracelet is.
at the bracelet on his wrist.
Does the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet?
He
don't know,
examined the bracelet
probably.
closely.
There's 2 things sticking out on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right
Up and down.
left. Truth is gone. Truth gone.
Truth. Gone. Maybe those 2 words.
Truth gone.
How about reading it out loud? How about switching the sentence around? What else could gone and truth mean? What about reading them
Gone
out?
had truth. That doesn't mean anything.
Gone had truth and gone had truth. Gone had truth. Yeah, no, that doesn't. What else could gone and truth mean?
What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that is correct, something that's fact. In other words, something that is right. You could then safely assume that gone means left. After all, after someone left, they were gone. But in this case, they clearly refer to their directional homonyms. Then truth equals right, and gone equals left.
Junpei looked at the bracelet again.
The left and right of the bracelet. These two things sticking out. So if I...
Press them in the following order. Oh boy. Okay, so truth had gone, and truth was gone.
Just right, left, right, left, right, left.
Okay, that's what I thought, but... And then...
Ta-da!
Whoa! One after another, 8 numbers flashed on, then off, of the face of Junpei's bracelet.
Wait, did it just...
He checked one more time to be sure. One, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Huh? Hey, what are those numbers?
They're numbers.
Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were either.
What if we find the digital root?
Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers and the order they came in if he said anything.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed toward the bedroom.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Let's try the safe.
3, 4, 2, 1.
That works too, I guess.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Couldn't he just hit the bracelet again if he needed to remember what the order was?
True. Before long, he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a sequence of numbers such as the ones he'd just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. He had Clover come out of the bedroom. Had Clover come out of the bedroom to open it? Junpei slowly dialed the numbers that the bracelet had given him.
1 to the right, 4 to the left, and
3. Finished.
Bingo. I knew it was for this.
Bingo, bango, bongo, bish, bash, boosh. A small telltale sound of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and pulled it up.
Oh, is this some sort of note?
Inside was a piece of paper. It was
Solve my riddle, Batman.
It drives me nuts that they imply the combo was 1438, etc., and not like 1438. Oh yeah, I suppose that's true. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding.
Let's see.
It's a really protected lock.
Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact number 1. The Nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Excuse me. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. That'd be Snake. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO, Gentaro Hongo.
Who?
Cradle Pharmaceuticals Chief of Staff, Nagisa Nijisaki.
Who?
Cradle Pharmaceuticals R&D Supervisor, Teruaki Kubota. I apologize for butchering these names.
Who?
Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceuticals, Kagechika Musashido.
None of those are Ace, Lotus, Santa, Seven.
I must punish them. for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. Al said literal who's. We'll learn. We'll learn. This is... That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. 0. Junpei left the closet. There were 5 people waiting for him in that bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, Seven, and June. He looked at each one of them in turn, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest.
Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me?
Come with you?
I want all of you to go to the big hospital room.
Why?
There's something I want to be sure of.
What do you want to be sure of?
I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit.
Wait, then you're saying...
Yeah. I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover.
The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by attention like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice.
Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there.
Then, almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock in the main staircase. "4 a.m. Oh no, 5 a.m. Never mind. I can't count.
It's 5 o'clock.
6 a.m.
We've only got an hour left.
We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go.
Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom.
Actually, Junpei, we have 2 hours left of the stream.
Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me.
Junpei stopped in front of the door 3 and turned around.
Ace, Seven, and Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red?
Huh?
Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just...
No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door.
Why?
Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover.
Junpei's implication was clear, and Seven understood perfectly.
Fine.
What about you, Ace, Lotus?
Very well.
Sure.
Quickly, they pressed their palms on the red. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door, as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red's display panel.
I have this idea. I don't think this device responds to a hand placed on it. It instead reacts to a bracelet being brought close.
Well, yeah.
You don't actually need a hand.
Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it, and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared.
I knew it.
Just as Junpei had expected. It was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, so as long as the bracelet was brought near it. Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut, unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Santa and June had joined them as well.
Huh?
It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break it into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity plain on their faces. Before long, the other 3 did as well.
What was that about?
How should I know?
Clearly, they were all expecting some answers.
Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation.
Clearly, they'd hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued.
By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something?
What is it?
Do you know who I am?
The Muffin Man.
I knew you were going to say that.
What? What kind of question?
Just answer it, please. Who am I?
You're Junpei, of course. Who else would you be?
Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa.
What?
Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Santa looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. Oh, Santa. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued.
The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei. And the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap.
That's ridiculous. Impossible.
So, you're saying I'm not Santa?
Of course you aren't.
Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa?
If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 19. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital route would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3.
It's 5, right?
Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei.
You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5.
As he spoke, Junpei lifted up his wrist to show everyone the bright red 5 on his wrist. Wait, no, that's a blue 5? The bracelet is red, but...
Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was? Ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered. If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. The first thing that would come to anyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There'd only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face.
Not yet, anyway.
Face off!
Ace, you have prosopagnosia, am I right?
Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth, and so did Ace.
Prosopagnosia?
The others looked confused.
What's that?
No clue.
Prosopagnosia is...
He heard Lotus begin to explain it to them. Ace glanced at them, then turned back toward Junpei and sighed.
Very well. I confess. I have prosopagnosia. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this was about? You want to mock me for my disorder?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all.
No.
In fact, I feel kind of bad for you.
Yeah, that sucks, homie.
No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia.
Ace's face tightened, his eyes narrowed.
What do you mean?
Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of the beds.
I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him.
Junpei was suddenly very aware of the 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath.
That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you...
I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us.
Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued.
Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Doors 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room. You knew that, didn't you, Ace? That's why you volunteered to stay behind.
Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism.
Altruism, huh?
Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear.
What?
You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room.
What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have?
Really?
Yes, yes.
Pleading was not something they'd heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled the piece of wax from his ear, glanced at it, and flicked it off into the darkness.
Why are we going over this?
I have no idea.
Oh well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The
Do
second
tell.
is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopagnosia.
Then you mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person?
No.
Junpei, they call that prejudice.
No,
Jesus,
I'm not that
Junpei.
stupid.
Then why?
Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you.
What's that?
The corpse in the shower room. It's not Snake's.
What?
Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well. If the body wasn't Snake's...
I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He'd lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely
Guy
flesh
X.
and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake.
Whoa.
Oh God.
What?
No. That's impossible.
Ace had started muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring.
Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have prosopagnosia. If that were the case, he would immediately realize that Guy X wasn't Snake. Even if the clothes were the same as
Gynax.
Snake's, their faces would be
Gynax.
completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up?
For fun.
On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopagnosia, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him.
Whoa.
Wait. Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right, and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have had no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake?
I can think of at least 2 motives.
Ooh.
1. Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2. Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you.
Every move he took.
Every
breath he
breath.
took.
He'll be watching you. For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone else besides Ace spoke.
What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him?
Wouldn't you like to know?
He handed Santa a small piece of paper.
What's this piece of paper?
Santa squinted at the paper and began to read.
The nonary game was played once before 9 years ago.
Yeah, we know.
The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO Gentaro Hongo.
Oh, thank God, he's going to pronounce the names correctly.
Goodness. Not
Is this?
Slowly, Santa looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's.
It's the message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first class cabin.
Then suddenly,
Give me a break!
Ace's face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury tinged with desperation.
That paper is a lie! Someone is trying to frame me!
Ooh.
Me. You said me, right?
Ooh. Junpei's eyes narrowed and the trap began to close.
Duh.
Ace inhaled sharply. His eyes flicked off to Junpei, to something, anything else.
Wouldn't that mean you're admitting you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals? Or am I mistaken?
No, that's right.
That's what he
It
said.
was as though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face, and as he realized what he'd done, his eyes went wide.
Very well. I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what
Oh,
if
okay.
I am?
I'm gonna keep calling you Ace, if that's okay.
I don't know anything about this nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit.
Whoa.
Someone is trying to set me
You
up.
can't say
see?
scrap around these parts.
Yeah.
That rhymes with crap.
That's a bad word.
That's
First
the
of
bad
all-
word.
First of all,
First of all.
Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position.
Junpei, you're claiming I did this all by myself. Think that over, all right? How could I have killed Snake all by myself?
Not Snake. It was Guy X.
I don't care who it was. You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X.
Nope. You could have.
Huh?
What?
What? Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close.
Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you.
What'd you take?
Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then, I took this.
Junpei put his hand into his pocket.
No! You couldn't have!
Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled.
I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3.
1 plus 2 plus 9 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3.
That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket.
Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped, halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth twitching like a dying fish.
If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me. I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven?
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure.
Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Is this the part where Ace reveals that he was Bobobo all along? Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. Ugh.
Mm.
Oh, I'm tired. His arms came down, and his
So exhausted.
and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. Oh, shit. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion.
Well done.
There's definitely emotion there.
Yeah.
As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the Red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B deck.
His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter.
My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root.
1 plus 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. 2 plus 9 equals 11. Yeah.
As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere, with anyone. It is, I suppose you could say, a game changer. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. In mere moments, I successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. There was also an unexpected bonus. The knife the 9th man had used. I quickly pocketed both of them and left. I made my way back to where I was expected.
So he did the stabby.
That's
Yup.
when I
Wait,
ran
wasn't
into
his
Snake.
body?
Not in the knife ending.
No.
We only found, remember, because in the knife ending, all we found was Lotus.
Oh, that's right.
You're thinking of the submarine ending.
Well, this guy
Yeah,
X,
where we
actually,
found everyone.
I spotted him ahead of me. He was heading for the large hospital room and hadn't noticed me. The man wearing Snake's clothes arrived at door 3. When he stopped, I walked up behind him and called out, "Snake." He turned around.
Who's this broad?
He said nothing. His mouth simply hung half open.
He was a Zambi.
He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged. It wasn't important. I tend to gloss over little things like that. I was certain that man was Snake. I knew Snake had taken part in the nonary game 9 years ago. Being blind, it made sense that he didn't recognize me immediately upon our first meeting. But why then hadn't Snake said anything to me later? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the nonary game. But not once did he attempt to confront me. Did his lack of sight prevent him from fully recognizing who I was? Or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive me. Regardless, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. I had to get rid of him before he took action. With quick thinking, my plan went into motion immediately. I held the number 9 bracelet over the Red. I waved my own bracelet in front of the Red, and then grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. I threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed.
The man inside the door passed away. Passed away is a light way of putting it.
Peacefully in his sleep.
Yep.
After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang.
Ace's eyes were cold, and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it.
The deal. Airline food.
Junpei swallowed, then spoke.
Ace, did you kill Clover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Why did you kill her?
She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it.
Found what?
Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere.
Seven and Lotus interrupted.
Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too.
We didn't see anything suspicious.
Yes. I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it.
Hmm?
Huh?
But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her. And at last I did, in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it?
See what?
Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you?
Uh-huh. What are you talking about?
Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?
What? Nothing.
Nothing.
There's blood
Nothing.
on your shoes. It looks fresh.
Oh, I just got back from stabbing.
Oh yeah, you know.
Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse? I
Snake's
see.
corpse.
Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone.
No!
Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way.
You aren't going anywhere.
He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor, hard.
You're staying here.
No!
She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run.
Don't you run, little girl.
He was faster. Stabby, stabby.
That was how I killed Clover.
His face
Nice.
hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show.
You son of a bitch!
Seven's whole body trembled with rage and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed.
I admit it. I've lost. I have lost. Completely and utterly. Don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you.
Ah, but it turns out.
I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. I looked the fool. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room, if he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything.
Fucked up. Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered the other words, words he'd heard from Clover.
I think Zero is one of us.
But what if God was one of us?
What if God was one? One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace. Santa. June. 7. Lotus.
Zero is one of us? No. Wait. There's one more person.
Snake. Still alive.
Snake. The man who died in the shower room isn't Snake.
He's off naked somewhere.
That means he's almost certainly still alive.
It's like he just walks into the hospital room completely naked. What on earth is going on here? And where is Clover?
We all think he was dead. Where's Snake now? What if he's off somewhere laughing at us? If he is Zero, he must have... Is he watching us?
Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving?
I hate to do
Is
this.
Blind Snake watching us?
Is Blind Snake watching? I hate to do this again, but
God damn it.
listen, I can't control it, man.
God damn it.
It's been an hour. None of the players in this game have peed. SMH, you've never lasted an owner game. None of the players in this game have also had 2 beers, so, you know. Here's number 3.
I like to believe that
Yeah?
probably when everyone was off searching for the red parts, everyone actually just took a bathroom break.
For an entire hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long bathroom break.
I mean, hey, sometimes you just gotta take a long one.
No, I get it. When you gotta go.
They've been drugged, so who knows what that does to the system.
Yeah. All right. Excuse me. Back to it.
Besides,
Is
we once like the description of how Junpei goes to the bathroom like described as food-based items?
Oh yeah.
Because we all know that's what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Is Al still here?
Al's dead. He's been dead this whole time, Jack.
No. Is Al zero? Yeah.
Yee.
He sounded as if he'd just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw.
What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere,
Say that.
son of a bitch!
It's Hiffle.
Leave your ass here to rot!
Why? Because I killed Clover? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch?
Wow.
She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You bastard!
Seven roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. But someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose.
Blindsiding me with a punch, huh? You've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman.
Based. He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow.
Well, maybe you'd like another one then.
Before that, let me give you one of my own.
Huh?
Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. It was the same motion he'd reached into his coat pocket. Ah, shit.
And
It was
got the gun.
He's got the gun.
Ace has got a gun.
It was a
His
gun.
whole world's come undone.
The revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head.
If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger.
Blink.
I've already killed 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4.
3 people? What do you mean?
The captain.
Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. And with that,
Okay. Have a good one, guys.
Man, it's been a while since we've seen him.
I'm going off ahead now. Well then. Why is it stopping? God damn it!
That's not how that happened.
Lied! Open the door, please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Get me out of here! Oh my god, oh my god! There's no time left! Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him! Ah!
Kaboom.
I had 4 reasons for killing him.
1.
As I said before, in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on.
2.
I wanted the number 9 bracelet.
Yeah, no shit.
If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. That's the second reason.
3.
Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information.
4.
Lastly, I wished to conduct a simple test.
To see if he was dumb enough to fall
A test
for
to
it.
see if this nonary game was serious, or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome.
Junpei glared at him.
I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago?
Didn't I say? The nonary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution.
Why? What on earth was it supposed to do?
I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that.
Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook.
Hey, what's with this gun? Where
It's a
did you
gun.
get this?
Why don't you tell her, Santa?
Santa ground his teeth and glared at Ace.
On the other side of door 6, we found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? Bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking.
Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying you intended to leave it behind.
Ace laughed, a short, derisive laugh. Or snort, excuse me, and gave Junpei a sickeningly... Sickingly? Sickingly? Is that a word?
It's on screen.
Yeah. Pitying look.
Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then.
Well, where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious.
To the
I have the
bathroom.
number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus.
Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it?
And how do you know that?
Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover.
I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. Ah, and please, don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know.
As he spoke, Ace began backing toward the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him.
Shit! He's getting away!
But we can't risk it.
Junpei, Santa, June, and Seven stood, frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit.
Now, Lotus, open the door for me if you would.
Looking back, they probably should have done something with the gun, like destroy it somehow or use up all the bullets.
Yeah. Probably a good idea. He forced Lotus to open it and then turned and addressed them once more.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. Then he stepped through the door. Well, fuck. It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone.
Damn it!
As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob... Ah, fuck. There was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily.
Hey, June, what happened? Are you alright?
Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way.
Jesus, you're burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay?
No.
June's fever had returned, again, for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, shallow gasps.
I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus.
She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk.
But...
Junpei was torn. Excuse me. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was further away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile.
Jumpy, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time.
You said you tripped. That's bullshit.
So please, please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's just gonna let her walk away?
Damn it.
Just gonna...
You guys go on ahead.
Oh, we're not quite at the ending yet.
As soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go!
Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set.
All right. Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace.
Hell yeah!
Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Got it.
Don't worry, I'll murder her in a different route.
Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running toward the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him.
Let's go!
Thud, 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 thud.
Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway, their feet pounding the metal door as they ran. Do they know where they're going?
7 does.
I suppose so.
Because Santa told 7.
That's true. Junpei and Seven had finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room.
Where are they?
I don't see them.
You think they already went through?
He reached up to wipe a palmful of sweat from his brow.
Maybe.
Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors.
Let's check the red.
The display panel read vacant. Has he already been... Has Junpei already been to the,
No.
He spun around and headed toward the smaller door. This red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room.
Oh, I guess he has.
Engaged. It's occupied.
That means Ace and Lotus went through here.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I guess they did stop in this room. I mean... the fuck do I know?
We found the chapel after door 6, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the corner of the room and began to talk.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but...
The two of us can't do anything with it.
Yeah, not even counting how our digital route isn't 9.
Just then, as they were pondering what to do next, there was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel.
What's that sound?
Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking for the source of the sound.
It's coming from over there.
It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it.
The coffin.
Yeah.
Let's open it.
How?
By force!
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures.
Who said that?
Me. Wayne
I
Gretzky.
forget. Anyway, we've got to try.
Junpei and Seven leapt at the coffin.
Who's Junpei's voice actor?
Fuck, hold on. Let me look it up.
Because he said it.
Let me see. Evan Smith. Yeah, there we go.
Evan Smith. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly Cries, for being a source of information for this game. Without needing me to look at my phone.
Damn it!
See? Didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that?
Like what?
Seven pointed at a keypad on the side of the coffin.
Right. So unless I put in the right passcode, it's not gonna open.
Hey, pizza delivery.
The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it had only gotten louder and more forceful. What were
It's getting cold.
What were they supposed to do? Junpei wondered.
Is there some sort of clue
I
somewhere?
got crazy bread.
Fuck, get that shit open. Whoa. They stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke.
Hey, what about that fucking code for the safe?
Yeah, what about the code for the
I
safe?
remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin.
Oh, shit,
You
you're
got
right.
those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth
shit,
of
you're
God.
right.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. What about it?
Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too.
Come on, that's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe.
Why can't it be this too?
Yeah, but the
It could
person
be
who set
1,
that
2,
safe
3,
in his
4,
coffin was the same
5.
person, right? Zero set up both of these.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them.
The passcode for the coffin is the
That's
total
ridiculous.
after tax for the pizza.
Just try it. I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse.
With tip?
With tip.
Okay.
It'd just be a waste of time.
The trick is knowing
There's no
how
way
much
they're the
to
same
tip.
number.
Damn, you
How do
right.
you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer.
It's actually 24%. Because he's got crazy bread.
Who said that?
You.
Fine.
Yeah, just give it a shot. He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it.
Duh.
Perhaps because he repeated it so many times before, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind.
4, 3,
You could also check it at any
3,
point.
4, 2,
Yeah, literally. Just right, left, right, left, right, left. Quickly, he typed them in. He checked that he'd entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment.
What? You gotta be kidding me.
There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside. Oh shit, there he is.
Snake! You? Why?
Ah, those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken.
Bro, your sister's dead. I'm sorry.
Where are the others? Are they elsewhere?
This is supposed to be the safe ending.
Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known about would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Also, yeah, nice outfit. Junpei and Seven looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but... oh no. They had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked in the coffin. Apparently, he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and Seven explained what had happened to the rest of them.
We gotta play this dumb
I
notary
believe
game.
I got the gist of everything. Have I been sufficiently caught up?
No, there was one thing they kept from him. There was one thing, however, that neither Seven nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. That Ace had killed Clover.
Ace killed Clover. There, I said it.
They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane.
Yeah.
They decided as much by a look at the moment Snake had climbed out of the coffin.
But that still doesn't explain why you were trapped in here.
We've still got no clue about Zero's true identity, let alone why the hell he's doing all this. Why did he put Guy X in Snake's clothes? Is all this stuff somehow related to that notary game that was played 9 years ago?
Hey, Snake, do you know anything?
Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating.
What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, I've been in this coffin for 90% of the game.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It seemed as though Snake was, perhaps, not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good.
Oh, come on, just tell us if you know.
I don't know what to tell you. How can I know something I don't?
No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted.
This is bad. We're running out of time.
We need to go after Ace.
However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood, at a loss for what they should do next.
What do we do now?
He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 bracelet on the Snake's wrist.
The 3 of us can't make a digital route of 9.
Yeah, we just get 5.
We're stuck here then.
If only Clover was here.
Hey, I just remembered something.
Oof.
Okay, I stole Clover's bracelet.
Seven began patting his pockets as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything.
What?
Oh, he stole Clover's bracelet.
Oh my god.
I found something earlier.
Oh no.
What did you find?
This.
He'd finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. Oh, it's the Zero bracelet.
Ooh.
A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye.
0. Zero's bracelet.
What did you say? Are you
What
saying
did you
that
say?
7 has the number 0 bracelet?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed Seven look away.
Clover gave it to me.
She did?
Yeah.
How did she come by it?
Well, she found it. See, on the other side of door 1, A deck, the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around.
He's lying.
Junpei could tell right away that Seven wasn't telling the truth.
No
Told
shit.
us earlier.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing.
He probably said that so Snake doesn't find out about Clover.
All right, Junpei. Been nice knowing you.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what?
Oh, no.
Come on, man. I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank God.
Still, just in case, I want to make sure the Zero bracelet gets picked up by the Red. Snake, give me a hand, all right?
Without waiting for a response, he started walking toward the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. Seven and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, Seven put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. Now they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open. Error.
Why isn't it opening?
Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the Zero bracelet.
Maybe it isn't actually 0.
Huh?
What?
That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying.
Maybe it's 10.
That's what I was gonna say.
Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains.
Oh, got it.
Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. Well...
Everyone.
Everyone.
Well, what would equal 9?
All right, hold
the
on.
digital route.
Digital
route.
Digital route. All right. So Snake is 2 plus Junpei's 5.
5, so
7
8.
plus... Yeah. Or, yeah, 8.
Yeah.
No.
If it is 10.
7. Oh, if it is 10.
If it's 10. Because it'd be 17 plus 1, so it would be 1 plus 7 equals
Okay,
8.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Junpei plus 7, that's 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 10 is 23, so that's 5.
So just do everyone.
Yeah.
Let's try all 3 of us and the bracelet.
Snake plus Junpei plus...
If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 4.
Nope.
It didn't open.
Then this bracelet is not 4.
Then...
Nope, just
Let's
try a different
Snake,
one.
me,
Yep.
and the bracelet. If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 2.
Nope. The door didn't open. The mysterious bracelet wasn't 2.
Didn't open.
Yeah, no shit.
Guess it's not 2.
Then... Let's try me, 7, and the bracelet. If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 6.
It was a 6 seen from above.
What?
For the 0.
That worked.
It opened.
Why is it a 6?
Yes, so it would seem...
It's a 6 seen from above, like you said.
Oh shit, you're right.
7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought.
That means the bracelet is actually 6. But how is that possible? The display on the bracelet clearly shows a 0.
Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. Uh-oh. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had, until recently, been dry.
Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go!
But, Snake, are you sure?
Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem.
Of course you do.
My last
He's gonna
resort.
slap the fucking wrist
But
on
if
his
now
arm.
is not the time for last resorts, then when?
Last?
Resort?
Do you think they got used to it?
Mm-hmm.
Junpei, 7, and Snake ran full tilt down a long, straight hallway.
That means Naruto running.
They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one.
Oh yeah, because his wrist, he
How
took
come
his,
You didn't do that right off the bat.
he took off his arm.
Yeah.
As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine that most people would have taken it to mean that I was 0. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were.
Or in your case, coffin.
That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off.
Snake's plan had been simple, but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei, it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so... how had he done it?
My brother's...
Yeah, we know. Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin.
I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that's a fake arm.
Don't have to be afraid of the door if you don't got a bracelet.
You are correct.
And then the bomb goes off in him anyway.
He'd walked through the door easily without authenticating. He'd stepped out of the other side, unscathed, and begun running down the hall alongside Seven and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer, and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down at the staircase.
I think these stairs connect to the bottom deck.
Doesn't look like it's underwater.
They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door.
Let's go through that door.
Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read Incinerator.
Ooh, fun.
Incinerator?
Oh my. That doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps?
Yeah, right over here.
How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so.
Al said, I wouldn't be surprised if this whole stream is just this ending. Yeah, that's what I'm counting on, honestly. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever, because we're definitely not going to have time to do the true ending at this point.
If you pull it, the door...
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there's a whole puzzle room involved with it, too.
Got it.
He pulled the lever down.
We're gonna go inside of it?
That's ominous. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interestingly was what Junpei saw behind them. Another fucking 9-door!
What? Why? Why is there another one?
The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command
Oh no.
has been acknowledged.
Oh no. Oh god.
I did ask why are we going in there?
In 9 minutes.
Of course. What else would it be?
The incinerator immediately.
9 seconds.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face.
What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
It's said that the incineration system is about to activate.
Bro, we don't got
In 9
time.
minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame.
Who are you?
You don't recognize me? I'm hurt.
Aw.
It's me, Snake.
Snake? Oh, yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive.
Ace's voice didn't change. Snake grounded his teeth.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7. The 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a knife. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
What?
There's a possibility.
Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not.
Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet?
Oh no. Junpei felt his chest tighten.
Oh, they haven't told you?
Oh no.
Told me what?
Clearly not.
Oh boy.
Normally, I would take some time and enjoy the moment. But I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover.
Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut!
Clover.
I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake.
Junpei could feel his voice getting hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him.
What happened to Clover?
Oh, she's dead.
Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile.
Clover died.
The color left Snake's face.
What color?
He shook his head weakly.
No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie.
Poor Snake.
Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see.
What?
Oh shit.
Oh,
I'm
his
sorry
eyes
that
are...
I stutter. I killed her.
Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to the dot of his pale skin. To dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Junpei, disturbingly like a demon.
I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember. I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft.
Oh, that's fucked up.
My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance.
Please stop.
That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited. It is
Does he have a boner?
a powerful memory.
I think so.
Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again.
Gross.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Bro, we don't have time.
I'm going to kill you.
Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible.
What was that?
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come now. I'm waiting.
Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head.
Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister?
Oof.
Don't! The Snake!
Don't do it!
But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His
It was
scream,
very, very frightening.
his scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair.
Snake! Snake!
Metal Gear.
Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room toward Junpei, her eyes wide with terror.
Lotus! Hurry! This way!
Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she'd made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them.
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman.
No.
He raised the gun.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door.
We know that math.
Quickly
Thank
now.
you.
I don't have time for your shenanigans.
In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He shook like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor. Ugh. Or looked like a human larva. Jesus Christ, I shook.
I see.
I can't
Then
read.
It would seem I have no choice.
Bang.
The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room.
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Damn it!
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh.
Goodbye.
Then it happened.
Kill you?
Snake stood up.
He is a zombie.
What? No, that's impossible.
For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, 1 step closer to Ace. And he's about to break. Then another. He looked, for all the world, like a zombie.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Do it, Snake. His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead.
Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll get away from me.
Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Listen to me. I said don't come any closer. Shit! You bastard!
Just shoot him again. Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times, the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor.
Incineration will begin in 3 minutes.
Bye-bye.
Finally, you're...
But Snake wasn't done!
Oh, shit!
Kill you.
Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. One bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg.
You won't get away.
And the other gripped his thigh with the strength that should have been long gone.
You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off me! Let me go, damn you!
He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, arm, and Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake had ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it.
This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death together.
What?
Incineration will begin in 2 minutes.
Yeah, damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go!
Why does he have
monster!
2 arms right now?
They mentioned that he just, crushed his wrist so that the thing could be taken off.
Okay.
And they just threw that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't actually take off his arm.
My company
He
owns
should
a
have.
wonderful
That would
hospital.
have been way cooler.
It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily.
Yeah, but Clover is still
Yeah.
very much dead.
You
He got fucking shot 6
You can be
times.
safe. Just let me go.
Nah, he is very much like should be dead.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Begging for your life.
Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and their words were strained.
Snake, that's enough. You can stop now.
Yes! He's right, Snake. You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here.
You have to come with us. We have to leave together.
Snake turned toward them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled a sad sort of smile.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me.
Shut up! Be quiet!
There was a little bit of Bobobo in his voice there.
My sister died
Fist in the
because of me.
forehead. No, sir.
Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife, she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go.
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
God damn it! Shit! We're out of
Shit!
time! We gotta go!
Seven ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. Come on, Junpei. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung as he tried desperately to swallow the clear lump in his throat.
Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now!
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller. And then it broke, crashing down with the thunderous force of his shaken, unprepared mind.
Snake! Snake!
Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to.
Wait! Don't be an idiot, Junpei!
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his sides and was hauling him bodily back toward the door.
No! No! I have to help Snake! Snake!
He's good.
Snake! Get off of me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds.
Oh fuck, get out of there!
7, 6.
Damn it, I don't get a choice, kid! Don't blame me for this, alright?
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down. Beginning incineration.
Junpei felt Seven's fist buried deep in its stomach, and felt then his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door.
He's...
There was a small window cut into it. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake.
Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why?
Because you killed someone.
Why?
He killed 3 people.
Zero! Zero! Zero!
That's haunting.
Yeah. Oh boy. He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing.
Meanwhile, he was also eating a slice of pizza.
Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door in the hallway they'd come down earlier.
He had left the pizza box
Hey,
down
wait,
there.
Junpei!
He wanted a slice.
Junpei, where are you going?
He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June.
You're gonna bring them here?
How?
Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait, all right?
He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going.
I saw an elevator on the way here. If I can get it to work, then maybe...
Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it.
Please work.
He pushed it, and the door opened. That's a Nonagon!
Yes.
It's the Nonagon Infinity! It opens the door! My god! Junpei was in the large hospital room.
June! Santa!
He kept calling and walked to the center of the room.
Where'd they go?
But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Damn it. Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt like it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Well, fuck. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there, on the red carpet in the center of the room... June! No, codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Connie.
Connie!
Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran, across the room, toward her.
Connie!
He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still.
No, no. It can't be. It's impossible.
Slowly, Junpei bent down toward her. His hands shook, and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly it rose and fell. Relief washed over him.
Oh, Connie!
Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up.
Connie, are you alright?
Jumpy?
Yay! Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold. Her name is Connie now. Very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she was fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest.
Oh man. Connie. What the hell happened to you? You feel...
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was very faint.
I might not make it.
No way. No way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you. I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times.
Hey, it's the same dialogue again from the submarine
Just
ending.
gotta hang on. All right, Connie?
Jumpy, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame.
The pizza was getting cold.
He looked down at Akane. Oh shit. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke.
0. You son of a bitch! Where are you hiding?
Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice.
What the hell are you talking about? No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet.
This is the first time we've seen the game actually end.
I'm gonna get out of here with Connie. Why? The wrong path. What are you talking about? I told you! I am not gonna lose!
What?
What?
Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it 0?
Connie, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise.
Bye.
She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anymore, anywhere.
Damn it. Where are you? It doesn't matter. I need to get Kane out first.
He didn't want to leave Connie alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel.
Connie!
She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before. And now she was gone.
Oh God. No. No. Where is she? Connie. Connie! Connie! Connie!
His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling pizza. I mean, silence. That was when he noticed it.
Huh?
A strange smell, one he'd smelled before.
Wait.
Pepperoni.
This is... white smoke.
Pepperoni and green peppers, mushrooms, olive chives. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out.
Melting cheese. Fresh dough.
Oh, man.
At least we didn't get stabbed.
It's true. It's true.
Man.
Oh, man.
Jesus. At the same time, we didn't get the pizza.
We did not get the pizza. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for the stream tonight, because we definitely don't have any more time. Like, I could realistically stream for like another 20... You know what, I guess we could at least set up for going for the true ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I could at least, like, go through the checks and make sure everything is unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll do that at least, but then we'll probably call it there, because it's pretty late. Oh, man. So how'd you feel about that, Landon?
It was fucked up. It was
Morphogenetic
cool,
field voice. My favorite.
That's me.
Oh, man. God, I'm excited to finish this game.
Ace is a bastard.
Ace is a bastard.
But so is Santa?
And so is Clover.
Yeah.
In that one ending.
In that
You know who's the non-bastard? The end. Or is it?
No, that was the end of that one.
I mean, that was that ending.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that was the safe ending.
7's not a bastard.
Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Oh.
I think Snake is probably, like, the least bastard out of all of them.
And he's a cop.
No, 7's a cop.
Oh.
So, he's, like, you know, a bastard by default.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's go back and do this shit.
It started from the very top.
Was it?
Very tippy top.
Very tippy top? Oh, yeah, you're right.
See?
You're right. I don't remember which ones it is, so I'll just do all of them.
We need to take
The ship is bigger than I
the
thought.
bookmark from Santa.
That's true.
A replica of the Titanic?
Yeah, no, there's definitely not the actual.
Yeah, well, I guess so. To a certain extent.
I guess we haven't seen this before.
What about you? No, I guess that's kind of a dumb question.
Yes, I do believe in curses. In fact, I think it was a curse that sunk the Titanic.
What?
She's so sure of herself.
A curse sank the Titanic. The curse of the Egyptian mummy. Supposedly, the Titanic carried the mummy of the priestess Amun-Ra, which was stolen from a pyramid.
I think we have heard this before.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that the mummy had a history. That mummy, the priestess,
It keeps stopping us, though.
supposedly, she was special.
Alice.
What do you mean?
Ice
Well,
9.
supposedly, she was
All
really
ice.
Pretty?
pretty. Yes,
But she was a mummy.
that's right.
That's right. Skip. Okay, yeah. Oh, that was it.
That's unlocked. Okay, now we can go down here.
Before the door.
Hey, hold on.
Talk to Clover, give her the bookmark. Give her the 4-leaf clover. And then we have this whole conversation about how people aren't people anymore.
If you replace enough parts of them,
patch it
patch
up.
it up.
Another hole opens.
It's not the same sock anymore. Cool. Oh shit. Well, I
What?
mean, we don't need that, so.
No, those close off because we're opening these other ones.
True.
That's the literal point of those.
True.
Pocket watch.
Pocket watch. And then
No,
Clover
you only
learn-
needed one person.
7. Doesn't matter who you pick. Blah, 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 blah.
Actually, you could only do it with one person.
Okay, cool. Alright, that's everything we need. So, do we want to just, like, jump here and save?
Well, I mean, can't you just jump to the ending?
Oh. Suppose I could. Well,
Well, just... I mean, jump wherever you want to, but save.
I can't save on this screen, is the thing.
That's why I said jump wherever you want to, then save.
Okay, I'm just going to jump here, just in case.
Okay.
All right.
Ooh, the safe ending. We did it.
Did it. All right.
We did it.
That was the entire stream.
That was the stream.
All right. Well, we'll be back Thursday.
Thursday for finale.
Hopefully finale. Hopefully we can finish this game in one stream. I don't know how long it's gonna fucking take, but we'll see. Yeah. Thank you for joining, Al, as always. Thank you for joining Carly Cries out of nowhere, and for saving us some time at the beginning. Yeah. We mini stream finale soon. Yeah, Muramos is gonna finish soon, isn't it?
Next week.
Next week.
We're gonna get the last two endings. We're gonna get all the swords. We're gonna do the last Cave of Evil for both characters.
Yep. Sweet. All right, so that'll be it for tonight. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.